Hello beautiful people, welcome to Sandy Says. So as promised, I am here with another video, and in today's video I'm going to talk about the requirements to become a cabin crew. So without further ado, let's just check what these requirements are. So the education qualification that you require to become a cabin crew is your high school graduation and nothing more. Another thing I want to talk to you is about formal cabin crew training certificates provided by aviation institutes across the world. A lot of people have been asking me this question where is it mandatory to have the certificate, or having the certificate is going to give you any sort of priority over the other candidates? So my answer to this question is no and no. You do not require any formal cabin crew certificate to qualify yourself for the interview, and having one is not going to give you any sort of priority over the other candidates. There are certain qualities and personality traits that the recruiters are looking for in an ideal candidate, and as long as you check those boxes, you do not require any formal training certificates. And even if you have one, they are not even going to ask you to show the certificate, or it's not going to put you in their priority list for sure. But if you want to sort of polish your personality a little bit and get comfortable with speaking in public, also learn a little about how to present yourself, how to groom yourself, then you can actually go for these courses, because they will benefit you. They will transform you into a polished professional version of yourself so that you can perform better in the interview. But again, I would like to stress on the fact that this is not a mandatory. Airlines do not ask you for these certificates when you go for the interview, and it will only depend on how well you perform and how much you impress them. The minimum age requirement for an aspiring candidate should be 18 or above, and this is common for every airline in the world, but the maximum age limit varies from airline to airline. I have noticed that international airlines are more lenient with the maximum age limit than the airlines in India, and also experienced crew get more leniency when it comes to maximum age limit. Now, to talk about airlines in the Middle East, they mandates that their candidates should be 21 or above in order to qualify for the interview. So height requirement differs from international to domestic airline, as well as from male candidates to female candidates. But one thing is common, that every airline is going to conduct a height check on the day of interview. In domestic airlines, they sort of measure your height and check whether it matches with their requirement. But in international airlines, the process is a little bit different. There'll be a point marked on the wall which is 212 centimeter from the ground. Now, they will be asking you to remove your shoes and reach for that point, and you should be able to touch that point while standing on your tiptoes. Now, what is the reason behind this test is that in wide body aircrafts or larger aircrafts, overhead compartments are located at 212 centimeter height. Now, one of the job role of a cabin crew is to make space for bags and arrange the bags, and also close the overhead compartments before takeoff. Now, there is no question of you not being able to perform this task, because regardless of your position, every crew on board is expected to perform this aspect of their duty. So if you fail this round, there is no question of you going ahead in the interview. BMI or body mass index is a measurement used to check whether a person has the right weight corresponding to their actual height. Normal BMI is considered to be between 18.5 to 24.9. Now, most airlines are very strict about having the right BMI or the normal BMI. This is checked during the interview. Some of them check this during the interview, not every airline, because even if you don't have the normal BMI at that point of time, they will sort of ask you to come back, or ask you to get into the normal BMI zone before you join the airline. So this is not a deal breaker, but as a suggestion, it'll be best, or it'll be good for you to maintain a normal BMI if you aspire to become a cabin crew. Guys, I cannot stress enough the importance of having a clear complexion. This is one of the first thing that the recruiters are going to notice about you, and it's all about first impression. So if you have a pimple-prone skin, please go to a dermatologist and start working on clearing up your skin as soon as possible. Now, to talk about tattoos, airlines have zero tolerance policy towards tattoos that are visible whilst wearing the airline uniform. But if your tattoos can be concealed while wearing that uniform, then you have nothing to worry about. So, please make sure that you check the airline uniform before you appear for the interview, and try to decide for yourself whether or not you can conceal your tattoo. Airlines tend to be a little more lenient when it comes to scars and birthmarks. If you have a lighter scar or a birthmark which can be concealed with the help of makeup, you have nothing to worry about. So now to talk about language skills, every airline requires their cabin crew to have a good command over English language. On top of that, if you can speak any second languages, preferably French, German, Spanish or Mandarin, it will sort of give you an advantage over the other candidates. Now, airlines in Middle East, such as Emirates or Qatar Airways and several other airlines, they prefer candidates who can speak Arabic, but this is not a mandatory requirement. But when it comes to airlines in India, it is mandatory for every cabin crew to be able to speak in Hindi and English. So if you're from a non-Hindi speaking state, you should work on your Hindi language skills from today. Because during the interview, they're going to ask you questions in Hindi, or they're going to ask you to introduce yourself in Hindi. I will tell you a funny incident that happened with me. I had no idea about this. So I went for an interview with a very prominent airline in India, and during the interviewer asked if I could speak in Hindi, and I very confidently answered that yes, I can. And then all of a sudden, he just told me to explain how to cook rice in Hindi, and I just sat there and thought about what is rice called in Hindi for a good 5 seconds, guys. But even though I embarrassed myself here and there, I was able to manage, and they were quite impressed with the answer. So, anyhow, my point is that you should start working on your Hindi language skills. If your aim is to work for an airline in India, start watching a lot of Bollywood movies, listen to Bollywood songs, get yourself some North Indian friends. I don't know what your course of action will be, but this is a requirement. So guys, with that, we come to the end of today's video. I don't know if you have noticed the lighting change in this room, because I started shooting this video when there was daylight, like somewhere around the afternoon, but now it's 7:30, like almost 8 in the evening, and daylight is long gone. But anyways, I just hope that I have been able to share something new with you guys today, especially for those people who are planning to appear for cabin crew interviews in the future. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to address them in the comment box below, and I will try my level best to answer those questions for you. For those of you who haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so and hit the tiny little bell icon next to it so that we stay in touch. I will be back with another video very, very soon. And till then, stay tuned, stay safe, stay beautiful.